What's up, guys? It's Peyton. Today I want to talk to y'all about a pair of boots that I've been wearing for about the past 8 months that I've actually really come to like, and I don't think they're getting enough recognition and enough attention. And that is the JK Western Ace boots in redwood or black. They have them in 2 different colors and also in 2 different colors in ostrich. There's called the Doc, I believe, when they come with ostrich on the vamp and counter. So these boots are a product of JK Boots out of Spokane, Washington, a very well-known Pacific Northwest brand for work boots. Branched off and started a Western boot company. Western wear, Western boots, Western apparel, kind of like that general avenue. And this was one of their first models. This was actually from the first batch ever produced. I got the email, like anybody who subscribes to JK, saying they were starting a Western brand. I got on the email list, and the second they said they were available, I ordered them that day because I thought they were so unique. And it turns out I am very happy with the purchase and with the boots, and I want to share them with you guys. And because I have not seen a whole bunch of videos on these, and the little bit of shine that I see JK Western getting is normally for the Buck, which is their square-toed rough-out boot with a rubber sole that's very reminiscent of the Vibram 430 mini lug sole. So let's just jump right into it about this boot. This is a 12-inch shaft with a 1.5-inch true stacked leather heel. A good rubber heel cap. It's just glued on. It's not nailed. That being said, I have wore these boots a pretty good amount, and I have had no problem with delamination on that heel cap. They have a leather sole, and they are lemon wood pegged and brass nailed through the waist. Very traditional. They are held on with a true Goodyear welt, and unlike a lot of companies, this is a channel welt construction, also known as a holdfast, where they actually carve a channel into the leather insole on this boot that it does have. This boot has a leather insole, full veg tan leather insole. Carve a channel and stitch the welt directly to the insole, which is a much better construction than mass-produced cowboy boots, Western boots, and even Goodyear welted footwear that uses a canvas gimming on the footbed. It also gives it a little lower set look to where it doesn't seem like you're sitting on an extra layer because there's no filling in here. You know, a lot of Goodyear welted footwear, especially the ones with the gimming, they have to fill it with a material, whether it be foam on the cheaper boots or cork on the higher end or leather on the really higher end to compensate for that void created by the gimming sticking up off the footbed. These are very closely channeled and making it very streamlined on the sole. These boots have a true leather heel counter, very sturdy. You're not going to crack it when you're sliding your foot in there and you accidentally hit it at the wrong angle because you're tired trying to get out the door in the morning. They have, again, this is the redwood coloring. I don't know exactly what kind of leather it is. I know it's bovine leather, cow leather, but I don't know what tannery it's from. But it definitely feels substantial. It has a calf skin leather lining, and it is a hung leather lining, which means the seams are not exposed on the inside to rub your calves. So very comfortable to wear if you do wear lower socks. I don't really normally have a problem with that. I tend to wear a boot sock that comes just over the top of the boot, but some guys like to wear shorter socks with their boots for heat distribution and, you know, being a little cooler in the summer. They have a corded shaft. It says hand corded, but it's corded like a lot of brands are nowadays. One thing about JK that's very interesting, in their Western boot lines, they did something I've never seen before. and it's mainly the reason I bought these boots. If you look, the toe bug or the toe stitching on this boot is very different. It's looks like a Nordic shield. It's some kind of crest that JK came up with, and if you'll notice, they also have a very similar-ish design on the shafts, front and back. Almost like a wheat leaf on the shaft, but this is incredibly unique, and I've never seen anything like it on any other brand. And I am telling you, it's eye-catching. I get a lot of comments on these boots when I go out, people asking what they are, where I got them. The shank on these boots is a fiberglass shank. It is not a steel shank. Now, there's pluses and minuses to that, how you want to look at it. Do I think it's any worse or better than steel? Not necessarily. You know, this one's not going to mess with heat or cold. It's not going to have any problems with metal detectors. If that matters to you. And I have had no issues with the rigidity of this boot. Fiberglass is a very tough material, and I've had no problems with it. I have broken steel shank boots before. I've had 3 pair of boots resold where the steel shank was broke in them. Now, given those were not triple rib steel shanks, but I've had no problem with this one. It's always been sturdy, and you can see the waist of this boot has not been lightly babied. I'm as soon to kick something with this as I am anything else. Like I say, it's a great boot from what I've seen. I wear it a lot more than I really thought I would when I bought it. I have a very large collection of Western boots, which y'all will see over time if y'all follow the channel. But these have become the throw-on Western boots for anything. Run to the store, go to a movie, run down the road. I just really like them, and they're comfortable. Again, they do have that hard leather insole, traditional built, channel welted. But they also, this is dirty, let me clean this off. They also come with a leather topped, very thin foam insole that slides in the boot. It is glued down when you get it over enough where it'll probably come out when you pull your foot out. But under that, it is true hard leather, and you can feel my footprint in that leather, even though I've only worn them with the insole. So it's not thick enough to where it doesn't conform to your feet. And I've actually enjoyed that tiny bit of extra cushion, especially having that rock solid support under the foot. The toe box, it's similar to a Scholastic. On their website, it says it's a rice husk toe box. I don't know what that means. I've never heard of that. I guess it's just a more natural version of maybe a Scholastic or a thermoplastic. But it's been sturdy. I've had no issues with it, especially compared to my other boots, thermoplastic toes, which is 95% of boots, even very high quality boots. Unless you get into bespoke boots or in the $1,000 range, you're not getting a leather toe box structure in a boot. It's just not very common. And again, this still does maintain the true leather heel counter. Again, this leather feels substantial. When you hold it in your hands, it feels thicker than a lot of cowboy boots, especially anything you're going to find off the rack at like a Boot Barn or a Cavender's or anything like that. And I'm really fond of them. I am a 9.5 E to double E on the Brannock. I'm not quite a double E. I'm a little bit wider than a single E and a little bit more narrow than a double E on the Brannock, being a 9.5 length. These are a 10D. The reason I got a 10D is because, again, over years and years of collecting Western boots, that's what I found. When in doubt, the 10D will fit. A 9 double E will fit good in the width. It's a little bit snug in the toe box. A 10D fits good in the width, and I have a little bit of extra room in the toe box, and I would rather have that. Again, my true size, if I could really get it on these, would be a 9.5 single E. They do not offer that as of yet. But I have learned that 9.5 double E's tend to be a little big, at least in the width. And the width is the most important part. You really want it to fit well around your instep and around the ball of your feet, so you get good retention on the boot when you're walking. But I really come to love these boots. I like them a lot. They're comfortable. They're actually the most comfortable pair of boots I own, and I own well over 30 pair of Cowboy boots at this point. And I have owned over 70. I've just sold over half my collection. Just refining what I like and what I don't. And I think these are something people need to look into. These boots retail right now for $395. That's the same price I think they've been since they came out. I think when they came out originally, they were a little discounted for like their first run. But since they became normal production, they're $395. And I think they're easily worth that. When you look at these boots with leather insole, true leather stacked heel, a good sturdy shank. It may not be metal, but it is a good sturdy shank. Had no issues with it. True leather heel counter. You know, good solid leather, a hung leather lining, a very unique styling, a very traditional R toe, medium round toe, which goes well with just about anything, whether it be khakis, chinos, or, you know, cowboy cut jeans from Wrangler, whatever you want to rock with them. I think they're definitely up there in a competition with the boots of this price range. And the finishing was awesome. I had no issue with any QC. Any few little threads on here that have come out have been from very rough use. I have not been nice to these boots. I mean, you can see these boots have been worn. And this is after they've been polished up, cleaned up, and conditioned. They still have that patina to them. These boots have been unrecognizably dirty multiple times. They have real leather piping going up the side here. I'm just really happy with them, and I'm really pleased with them. I think these are definitely swinging in the ballpark of boots that are similarly priced, being boots like Anderson Bean, Olathe, and I think they're beating any boot near their price range, like on a store shelf, like Cody James. Even boots, I like them. I have a pair. Even boots like Eldorados, which are like Dan Post, really high end, with that leather heel counter and leather footbed. I think they're beating those. I think they're better than Dan Post. They are a little more pricey than Post, as like a general rule, but I think they're worth it. Again, and on top of that, they have a great styling, in my opinion. I like the way they look. They're very clean. They're very sleek. You know, that's one problem with Anderson Bean, and I love Anderson Bean. I love the entire Rios of Mercedes family when it comes to boots. I think they're exceptionally made. They're an American tradition, a Texas tradition, and I like that. But on their Anderson Bean boots, same thing with their horsepower boots a lot of time, which is their lower line, they don't finish this very well. You know, it's got a lot of room left at the waist. They don't dye their heels. Anderson Bean also doesn't use on most of their boots real stacked leather heels. They use a bonded leather heel. And again, these are the same price and a little bit cheaper than Anderson Bean boots that are comparable. Anderson Beans also are known for that square toe. Every once in a while on like certain exclusives on sites like Outpost Western Wear or Texas Boot Company, you'll find an Anderson Bean with a different toe shape. But we'll get more into Anderson Bean on later videos. I am a huge Anderson Bean fan and I love them. I just definitely think these deserve to be in the same conversation as them, especially for the price they're coming in at. As far as construction techniques and finishing, for $395, you're swinging at $500 and $600 boots. Again, over the course of this channel, I'm going to cover Lucchese, Anderson Bean, Blackjack, all the really high-end brands, all the way down to Tecovas, Ruho, and other brands that are more direct-to-consumer types. I will say this. A pair of Tecovas right now, I believe a similar boot to this, which is their Cartwright boot. It has a normal toe bug. Obviously, this is a JK thing with this toe bug. I think their Cartwright boot now is coming in right at $300, maybe a little more, $295, $315, something like that. That is not half the boot this is. I have owned 4 pair of Tacovas. I currently own 1 pair of Tacovas because I have sold the other 3. This boot beats Tacovas every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Tacovas have really flimsy thermoplastic heel counters. These have a solid leather. Tacovas does have a real stacked leather heel. I'll give them that. They do classify as a metal shank, but that metal shank is baby thin and it's molded into a piece of plastic. If you watch resale videos on Tacovas, you'll see that. Tacovas also use a gimming, not channel welted construction. I think on their really early models, they use channel welts. Now they're using a gimming. Also, Tacovas outsoles are nowhere near as durable as this outsole. And that's not just hyping up JK. Tacovas outsoles are not as durable as anybody's leather outsoles, in my opinion. I think that's where Tacova saves a big chunk of their money when they're building their boots, because they use a thermoplastic heel counter and a really thin leather outsole that's just a softer compound. Because I've seen guys wear through Tacova outsoles in 6 months. I've worn through one in 5 months, and that wasn't even with daily wear. So you definitely are getting more out of this boot for $100 more, but it's definitely $100 more boot. And I'm really fond of them. One thing you may not like, these are made in Leon, Mexico. They're outsourced. JK does not make these in the U.S. in their Spokane factory. That being said, if you know cowboy boots at all, Leon, Mexico is the boot making capital of the world. I always try to support American production and American manufacturing. I have over 30 pair of boots. 25, 26 of those boots at least are made in the United States. I have tried to just keep it in the United States. But I think these are one of those companies, again, you can get behind because they're doing it right. And I really believe it. I like them. I think anybody who got this boot, who's a cowboy boot, Western boot, footwear enthusiast, would really like this boot and appreciate it. I think it's a beautiful silhouette, timeless, classic. It's got a very unique toe bug. It's got traditional construction. And from what I've seen so far, it's going to stand the test of time. Like pretty much all my boots will. When you buy quality, you know, and take care of it, it pays you back in dividend. It pays you back in spades. So either way, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, it's not really. Again, JK has no affiliation with me. This is me talking to y'all about products I like, things I have worn extensively that I like, that I am comfortable standing behind and giving my honest opinion on, and this is one of them. So again, this is the Ace in Redwood from JK Western. Again, give them a check out if you haven't before, and maybe they're for you. And yeah, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all and y'all's families. Y'all be safe out there.